Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. I have something for you today that I've been waiting to show you for two reasons. One is I've been busy. Another reason is I haven't had the confidence to show you because there's a special reason. But before we get into it, full disclosure, I think I snagged the last copy of this run of this deck. There may be more in the future, so if there are, you can take a look at it and get an idea of whether you want to keep tabs on it or not. But this is a beautiful deck that I was caught up in by the powers of Lisa Papez, and it is a rune deck. Now, one of the reasons I've been hesitant to do this video is it's been a while since I've worked with runes. And the reason that I got this deck is so that when I do have time, perhaps during the winter vacation, I can get back into runes and really get a handle on it for my practice. So I got this deck. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera down and we're going to explore it together. Let's take a look. Here we are, friends, and as you can see, this is the Runic Odyssey. And here on the side, I've placed one of my sets of runes from a wonderful company called the Forge of the Phoenix. And they make wonderful runes on reclaimed or recycled ceramics. And what they do is they break the ceramics up and they gild the edges and they chisel in the rune and they fill in the rune with a matching color, and they make wonderful runes. They also do witches runes. They do a lot of stuff. They're very durable. And I got these runes and I practiced with runes, and I hadn't quite figured out how I wanted to work runes in with my reading practice. And so after time, I focused back on systems of tarot, and the runes got put off to the side for a while. And so I got this deck so that I can restart my practice with runes and try and figure out how I want to incorporate them, because I do want to incorporate them somehow. And I think this deck is going to help me quite a bit. This is, again, the Runic Oracle Odyssey. Comes in this beautiful green velvet-like pouch with green satin ties to it. Very sturdy bag. And I will open it up. I have not looked inside yet. I've been waiting for this. So yes, it's covered in plastic, but this is the box. Let me take the plastic off of the box right now. The plastic is now off of the box. And I don't know how well you can see this because it's pretty shiny. Let me bring it up closer to the camera. It says the Runic Oracle Odyssey, new edition by Eva Delcourt. Now, this is the new edition, which means that probably there will be yet another edition on the way. Beautiful clamshell box, very sturdy. We've got the runes on the sides, and the back of the box has a little bit of information here. Here we can read it a little better. The Runic Oracle Odyssey, new edition. Embark and let yourself be guided on a spiritual odyssey with the Runic Odyssey Oracle, a tool of personal development and divination to bring your guidance and answers to your question, to bring you guidance and answers to your questions. So beautiful box. The outside is beautiful. Let's look at the inside. Look at that. Beautiful work on this, production work on this product. We've got life. No, let's see. I'm reading in the camera. Lift the veil of your mind and discover the power of the runes. Which is exactly what I want to do, and why I wanted to get this deck. It's another system of divination that I think is wonderful, and the book is good. The book that comes with it is thick. Oh, look at this. Okay, so let's look at the book briefly. Here we have a nicely soft, mild rose petal. The flesh tone, we've got a little bit of rubberized coating on it, which makes it feel very, very nice. Front and back. The cover is not a hardbound, but still it's a very sturdy cover. And inside, what do we have? Let's see. Do you want to be zoomed in? No, you're okay, right? Okay, so what do we have? In the table of contents, we have, so it starts off in French. And let's see, then I see. And then on the other side, we have English. Okay, so don't be deceived by the thickness of this book. It's only about half in English, but still, I think it's a chunky monkey. About the deck spreads. So they're separated into the three ets, Freya's et, Heimdall's et, and Tyr's et. The blank rune, so there's an extra rune for the weird. Yeah, the magical, the weird, the odd, the different. Yeah, moon phases. We've got cards for moon phases, I believe. And here we have the runes in order. First, Freya's et from Fehu through Wunjo, then Heimdall's et from Hargaz to Sowilo, and then we have Tyr's et from Tiwaz to... Now, the order of these last runes can be up for debate. Some people put Othala at the end, some people put Dagaz at the end. There are varying ideas of this final order. I know that. But that's not such a big deal. So we have correspondences, we've got spreads, which is wonderful. And then we get into each et. And for each card, for each rune, well, they are cards in this deck. For each rune, we've got some keywords, we've got a short poem, we've got description, divinatory meaning, reversed meanings, if you work with reversals, and then correspondences, elements, trees, plants, gemstones, animals. Very, very nice. Very, very helpful. And we go through the not many runes. Honestly, there aren't that many. Yeah. But there are 2 pages per rune. We've got the rune here at the top. We've got the pronunciation of the rune here in Romanized words, letters, I mean. And we go through Othala, and then we get into the weird. Okay, we've got a page for the weird, unknown secret. We'll see what that is. And then we've got the moons here. Very short information about the moons. 1 keyword, short description, and a couple of keywords. Okay, so. But I think this is going to be a wonderful deck to use. That is the guidebook. Let's move on to the deck itself. We have a wonderful ribbon pull-out. They're only... look at the bottom of this box. I love this tree, yeah? A reversible tree, which I believe will match the back of the deck, right? Can you see that? Let me stand up. This is a really, really gilded deck, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to see it clearly. But that's the back. Beautiful backings, right? Let me take the band off. And I will put this deck right down so we can examine the bottom of the box just briefly. Lovely. The production of this deck is just fabulous. So, now as far as card size and thickness, the card size is about the same as a US Games Tarot deck, but just a hair smaller, right? Oh, no, it's not a hair smaller. Well, when I say hair smaller, I really do mean like this, the difference of a human hair. Can you see the US Games deck poking out of the top here? That's how much shorter it is. Barely a difference. It's actually just a little bit wider, I think. Yeah, just a hair wider. You can't even see it on camera. So it's basically the size of a tarot deck. The cardstock is thick. It feels like it might be up towards 3 450 or almost 400 GSM. Beautiful deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you in so that you can see this a little bit more closely. Be right back. So I'm trying to reduce the glare here, but it really doesn't seem like it's going to be entirely possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film this standing above the camera here. I've got you zoomed in as much as I possibly can with my runes from Phoenix of the Fire here on the side, because these are really, really beautiful. And so we'll go through these card by card. Top is just a thank you card. And then we go into the first rune, which is, and I'll bring it up and try and hold it so that you can read it too. Now there we go. It's Fehu, which is wealth and abundance, richness and abundance. Richesse, abondance. So this is French at the bottom. This is English on the top. And here we have wheat. So for a farming culture, we know that wheat is a sign of abundance and prosperity, right? And the hand holding the wheat gives us that idea of human interaction. You notice there's a glyph here that looks like Aries to me. And so let me just briefly check to see if there are astrological associations to these cards as well. Let's see, let's toggle. Let's go back into the first set of, okay, so I don't particularly see Aries here. Now, let's see, Feo represents material possessions, bringing a boost in the material realm and a move toward greater wealth. It is not about easy riches or quick wins, but about what one undertakes and becomes prosperous with hard work and perseverance. Yes. So I don't particularly see anything about Aries here, although it is an element of fire. So this is the idea of all of things that need to be. Oh, I just noticed the fire glyph down at the bottom. Yeah. Here's the symbol for fire. Can you see that right there? Yeah. So yeah, wheat, abundance, that doesn't just happen naturally, but needs to be taken care of. We need to create and maintain our wealth. That's also part of this meaning for this rune. Going on to, there we go, Urus. And you can see, okay, now this looks like Taurus to me. And it is an earth sign, right? Earth, which is wonderful. And what do we see in the background? In the background, we've got this figure hanging off of a cloud. Looks sort of like a rock climber. Maybe this is a rock climber. The keywords are strength and determination. That kind of makes sense. Now, Urus, I've also thought of as like a wild bull. Yeah. That wild, like a bull in a china shop, can be also part of this, from what I recall. So it would have been interesting to have seen a bull in the background, but we do have Taurus here, which gives us that. And moving on to Thorisaz. Now, Thorisaz is Thor's hammer to me. Yeah. And what do we have here? What can I show you? I can show you, it looks like Aries again to me. So maybe these aren't that sign. It's another fire sign. What's here at the top? Let's see. Difficult for me to show it to you, huh? Static force, defense. And again, I think of Thor's hammer when I see this. Now, I'm not sure what these flowers here in the back are. I am not one for flower language, not because I don't like flowers, I just don't know it. Let's see, let me bring this up so I can see it. Fez et. Okay, so yeah, that's what, inside of here, it just says Fez et. So that's not all that important to see once you get to know these runes in order. And this is Ansus. Ansus is wisdom, communication. And it looks like Gemini to me. Yeah, we've got an air sign. Interesting. It looks like a hermit's lantern, which is interesting because often I've thought of the hermit's lantern being one of the next ones. Kenaz? Kenaz, I'm sorry, I get that mixed up. I've always thought of Kenaz as being the lantern, but this being wisdom and communication, you get that sense, oh, here's the raven for communication. Interesting deck. Very, very interesting deck. Okay, and here we have Raido, which is movement, travel. So we've got a ship here. We've got Sagittarius as a glyph. We also have, let's see, what the element is. Element should be fire if it's Sagittarius, right? I don't see a line. Is there a line through there? It kind of looks like there's a line through there, but Sagittarius should be fire. Yeah, right? Okay. Good. So, but we get the idea of travel. And this is Kenaz, which again, I often have seen this as like the hermit's lantern to me. But here it's creativity and knowledge. And with these hands holding up, these hands look like they're creating this burst of perhaps energetic matter. Does that make sense? Kind of like a burst of atomic particles which are starting to come together to manifest something, if that makes sense. And this is Leo, which should also be fire. Yes? This is a beautiful artwork, isn't it? I love that. That feeling of gazing into the starry night as well. These are beautiful, beautiful cards. And here we have Gebo, which is generosity, balance, also can be celebration. Now we see kind of like on the 6 of coins, the 6 of pentacles in tarot, we've got one hand giving to the other, one receiving, one giving. At least that's what it looks like. Now, this could actually be an offering hand, and this could be a hand reaching in to receive as well, or to take. So the sign here is Libra, which should be air. Yes. And here we have Wunjo. Now, I'm sorry, Wunjo really is the party rune. Yeah? Joy, harmony. And what is the sign? We have Leo again. Yay, Leo. I'm a Leo sun, by the way. Now, this is a Leo sun, but this really looks like it is Earth, so these don't actually match, right? Leo is a fire sign, but the element here is Earth, which is interesting. But this looks like a very joyful card, does it not? And interesting that this figure is full of clouds on a very, very starry night. I mean, a cloudy, bright, sunny day look in the figure, whereas the night sky is in the background. Interesting. And here we have, my back is starting to get tired. We have Hagalas. Not such a positive card. Now, destruction, crisis. So the runes have very positive cards and some fairly challenging cards, and this is one of them. And the zodiac is Aquarius. Yes, Aquarius. And it's an air sign, and there's the air symbol down there. So this looks like the perhaps galactic destructive event to me. Does it look like almost like a tornado even, right? Okay, and moving on to, this is lovely. Look at these hands. Nauthiz, that's right, Nauthiz. Also, for me, a fairly negative card. Yeah, I mean, it's not negative. It could be both positive and negative. It's necessity, need, something, there's a lack inherent in this. But this could also be the need that is the mother or father or non-binary parent of um, uh, what need is the mother invention, right? So this could lead to something really, really good. And the astrological sign here is Scorpio, and we've got here fire. Looks like fire to me, which is interesting because Scorpio is definitely a water sign. I'm a Scorpio ascendant, if you were curious. And here we go with, what is this? This is Esau. You can see that. Esau, the straight line, looks like an eye. Introspection, ego. And we get this idea, this figure here, right? So looking within. Capricorn. And the elemental sign here at the bottom is water, which is interesting because Capricorn is an earth sign. But introspection, ego, and like this human form being here is very appropriate. And here we go with Jeddah. Jeddah is a very happy card to me. Now, Jeddah, achievement, life cycles. And we get the idea, and this is Taurus, and this is an earth card. Earth and Taurus, they go together very nicely. We get the phases of the moon above, and this tree reminds me of the myth or the legend or the story of Odin, who hung upside down on a tree in order to sacrifice himself and then received the runes. Yes? Sacrifice in for the purpose of receiving, gaining knowledge, gaining wisdom, gaining ability to communicate, achievement, and life cycles. Jeddah. This also has the sound of year, right? Year, Jeddah. Here we have these beautiful butterflies, and the card is Ihwaz. Ihwaz. That looks like a road sign of some kind. I can't quite put my finger on what kind of sign this reminds me of. It's like two half arrows, right? And it is also a Scorpio sign. And the spirit. This is a glyph for spirit, I believe. The circle with the cross in the center. Transformation, renewal. So like the butterfly, transforms, renews, right? But it could also be a little challenging because that transformation can be a breaking apart and breaking open as well, which can be uncomfortable. And here we have, what is this? This is Perthrow. Perthrow, a luck card, yeah? Destiny, mystery, can also be gaming. So some of my information is reappearing from the deep resources of my mind. And this is Cancer, and the element looks like water down there at the bottom. Looks like people doing a cat's cradle here, doesn't it? Or the three hands of fate. The moon phases here are also helpful in reading, I believe. Okay, here we have, what is this? There we go, Algiz. And that Algiz reminds me of a figure with their hands, their arms raised in the air in joy to me, but it's actually protection and a shield. So it can be a little bit challenging. The sign is Sagittarius. The element is air. Protection. But it's interesting, we see this tree of life here in the background as well. And it looks like the wheel of the year as well to me. So there's a lot more depth, I think, to this card than just protection or shield. I think there's also the idea of life, of growth in a sense here as well. Okay, but I need to study more carefully. And maybe you know. If you know, let me know in the comments below. Now, this looks like a laurel wreath, right? And this is Sowillow, victory, energy, Leo. Although the element down here looks like air to me. But yeah, we got that victor's laurel wreath here from the Olympics, right? And this always looks to me like a lightning bolt. Does it look like that to you? or it looks like an S, yeah, for Sawillo. And this is Tiwaz, which I know, which is easy to recall because this looks like a T that you took the ends and you squished them down like an umbrella. And this is courage and justice. And so we've got the scale of justice, Libra, and it's an air. Can you see the air? These cards are just beautiful. The art is lovely and helpful. Now, there's so much help in these cards. And what does that look like? Fertility, or does it look like fertility? It looks like the very, 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 very archetypal, traditional, sometimes people get annoyed with Empress card. Because the Empress doesn't have to be pregnancy, but pregnancy is a very common sign for fertility, right? And growth. And this is Berkano, which looks like a bee, right? Bee, Berkano, easy to remember. Again, we've got Scorpio, and we've got Scorpio as an earth sign, or well, not an earth sign, but earth is the element associated with this card. And here we have, now does it seem like we're missing signs? Looks like we're missing signs to me. Anyways, this is Ehwaz. This is Ehwaz, which is different from Ihwaz. This is Ehwaz, which looks like an M. There's another one called Manaz, which also looks like an M, and we'll see that in just a moment. But yeah, we've got what looks like a human and maybe a horse, that kind of trust partnership relationship. If you've ever had a horse or been in relationship with a horse, you'd know that feeling. Or you could think of this as a very, very large dog and a very, very small child, and still get that same idea of trust partnership, right? Earth, Gemini. Now, Gemini, of course, is not an earth sign, but still, we got that. Okay, so here we have, what is this? This is Manaz, right? So, like I said, you see the M there, but the M went a little bit crazy, and this line went all the way down, and this line went all the way down. And this top, without these two little bottom things here, becomes Dagas. Anyways, humanity, awareness. So we've got the figure, this idea of different creatures going around in this is, okay, so here we have a globe, right? Here's North America, South America, Africa, Europe. Asia is kind of squished off over to the side, along with, I don't see Australia. Maybe no indication of Antarctica either. Anyways, but then we've got these hands here, right? Holding the earth. Humanity, awareness of who we are, where we are, when we are. Again, we've got Gemini as an air sign. Yes, air. Okay, and here we have, oh, look at this, Lagus. Now, so I think of this as an upside down L when I see this, which is different from the Ihwaz, which had that extra little line down here. Two different arrows half arrows pointing in opposite directions. I look at this and I just remember this is an upside down L. And I think of L and I think of lake. So body of water, yeah? Intuition, evolution. And it's Cancer, and we have water. Beautiful cards. And this reminds me of the moon card. The image in the background reminds me of the moon card a little bit. Yeah, the moon shining over the water. You can just imagine the little crustacean coming up from below. Okay, sorry. A little tarot geekiness. This is Inghwaz. So I think of this as like an ingot of gold, Inghwaz. Or in Korean, okay, there's another thing that I think of. In Korean, there's a circle letter. Korean has Hangul, and one of the characters of Hangul, which is what? It's an alphabet. So there are characters for letters, and the character for the circle is ng, ng, an ng sound. So I see this and I think of Inghwas, reminds me of Inghwas. And its gestation, inner growth. This is like the womb or the seed. And here we see a little sprout growing up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it's Taurus, and we've got, I have no idea what that means. We've got two triangles pointing sideways instead of up and down, and I'm not sure what that means. So, well, if you want, let me check it out in the book. Here, let me check this out really, really quickly. Let's see, again, that was Inghwas. So willow, Tiwas. We didn't do Tiwas yet, did we? Arcano, yeah. Ehwas. Inghwas. Element, water, earth. Okay, it's water, earth, but instead of being up and down, they're side to side. Let me see if I can bring that up for you. So this is supposed to be water, earth. Okay, that's something I will have to learn. And moving on to, this is Othala. So it's Inghwas with a tail, and it looks like a fish to me. Heritage. Possessions. And here we have someone possessing the book. And that reminds me a little bit of family Bibles. I don't know if your family ever did that, or in like the 18th century, the 19th century, each family had a Bible in many Christian homes. And in that Bible, they would also write who was born when and who was married to whom. And all of that lineage was there in that Bible. So it was both the Bible and a record of the family. And so that's what this reminds me of here for heritage, as well as possessions. Yeah, the book is a possession. And here we have Cancer, and the element is earth. And here we have Dagas, which is day, right? Daybreak. And it's Leo. And we have two facing, what do we call them? Elemental glyphs. And I'm not really sure what they are. Possibly, what was left? Fire and water, maybe? So, awakening, breakthrough. So we have a meditating person here. Makes sense, right? And here we have, I love these blues. I haven't said that yet, have I? I love these blues. Weird. Here's the weird card. Yeah, nothing in the center. It's a blank. And you see this figure going, shh. Unknowable, secret. We have no astrological sign. We have no elemental glyph. That's weird. The weird. I love that word. The weird. I love that word because of, and I love it because of Shakespeare. I love it because of the play which we will not name, the Scottish tragedy, otherwise known as, I'll say it now, Macbeth. Midsummer Night's Dream. Macbeth, Midsummer Night's Dream. It's a theater superstition. If you want to know about that theater superstition, ask me in the comments below. But in that play, there are the three called witches, but originally they were probably the three weird. Now the three magical beings, the weird. And now the word weird has become something entirely different, right? And so, new moon, nouvelle lune, new beginnings, lovely. Love the texture on the moon here. And here we have the waxing crescent, première croissant, making me hungry, and set intentions, something to do on that day, right? Set intentions. I like these. I do like these moon cards. I also like the moon cards in the pagan otherworld, just so you know. This is the first quarter, take action. Love this. The gold being actually the gold is the visible part of the moon, right? Yeah. That's interesting. I would have thought that this would have been the visible part of the moon, but no, the gold is the visible part of the moon. This is the dark side of the moon. But in this deck, it's the lighter side, right? And here we have the waxing gibbous. Refine and improve. Good actions to take at that time of the lunar cycle. And here we have the full moon. Celebration. Woohoo! And now we're going to start shrinking. Here we have the waxing gibbous. Introspection. Start looking at how things have turned out and the role we've played in that. Here we have the second quarter, right? No, third quarter, I'm sorry, the third quarter. Release and let go. We're starting to get ready to let things go, right? And here we have the waning crescent. Surrender. And get ready for the next cycle. So what do you think of this deck? I think it is absolutely lovely. Now, let me, I'll shuffle this to see how well these cards shuffle for you. And because I've zoomed us in so closely, I'm not, let me take the thank you card out. I'm not going to be able to do a lot of it on camera. Well, I'll try. Let's see how this works out. Okay, so these cards have a matte-ish finish in the background. I mean, they're a little bit of that light rose petal, which makes them want to stick together at the beginning. It's not such a thick rose petal finish as, for example, the True Black, which really makes them stick together. This is a lighter rose petal finish that will start to what? The cards will begin to be easier to shuffle. They'll slide over each other much more freely with use. And it won't even take that much time for it to break in, I don't think. Let me show you a riffle shuffle here. Here's a riffle shuffle. Okay, and a bridge. So it does riffle and it does bridge. Let me see if I can do an air riffle shuffle. I'm not really good at that. Oh, I did it. And an air bridge. There we go. There aren't that many cards, right? But it does riffle. One more riffle. I'll do one more overhand, and then I'll pull a card for us. Let's see. Riffle. Let me see if I can show you on camera. Works pretty well. Bridge works pretty well. Bringing them together, it's already getting easier. And let me cut and do one more overhand for you in this very, very limited space. Okay, so they're already starting to slide over each other much more easily and not clumping at all. Okay, so that's good to know. Let me cut the cards, and what is a message that would be beneficial for us to think of today? Here we go. And I've got it upside down. I'm not going to read reversals here. Okay, that's good. So we have Ehwaz, trust and partnership. Gemini, and this was an earth sign, earth element. Sign is Gemini. Let me read from the book. What is good for us to know, and what trust, partnership, being partners with those around us. And which et is it? This is Tiers et, right there up top. So here I am at Tiers et. And let's see, where are you, baby? Dagas, Othala, Inhas, Manas, Ehwaz. There we go. So again, this is Ehwaz. Huh? Ehwaz? Yeah, this is Ehwaz. Oh, I see. So here's the picture of the card. Here is the text. Ehwaz. 2 pages. Trust , partnership. Horses are for Okay, so let's see. I'm having trouble reading this. Let's see. Here we go. The joy of noblemen. Horses are for earls the joy of noblemen. A steed its proud in its hooves were the heroes about him. Prosperous on horseback, weave their speech, and ever a comfort to those on the move. Okay, so there's a poem there, and the font is difficult for me to read. Horses are for earls and the joy of noblemen, a steed proud in its hooves the heroes where the heroes about him, prosperous on horseback, weave their speech, and ever a comfort to those on the move. Okay? So, wisdom of the Ehwaz. Ehwaz embodies the link that which unites, like the relationship between a horse and rider. Both are independent and bound by a relationship of mutual trust. It encourages you to keep your commitments, to be true to your word, but also to help others in their evolution. It is not an individual path, but a collective path of mutual help. You are not alone and can rely on the people around you, making sure that you do not make mistakes and that you know who is worthy of your trust and who is not. It also symbolizes movement, which encourages evolution, adventure, discovery, and constant progress. Divination meaning, rapid and positive evolution of a situation, promise, trust, bound, unity, duality, movement, strength, loyalty, and help. Reverse meaning, obstacles to progress, lies, betrayal, deceit, distrust, and inability to act, communicate, or act in unison. Okay, correspondence is earth. Trees, aspen and white poplar. If you've got those around, that's great. Plant, ragwort. Don't have any of that. Gemstones, red, yellow, orange, gold, pale blue, blue-green, black, white, purple gemstones. So it doesn't actually give the gemstone, but the color range we might take advantage of. And also the animal is the horse, of course. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is a wonderful, wonderful deck that will help me, I know, get back in touch with these and help me figure out what I want to do with these, because I'm a card person and having cards to work with is going to be of great help. In the description box below, I'll put a link to this person's site, which is, again, Eva Del Corte, so that you can perhaps sign up for maybe if there's a newsletter or something, or updates for when she releases products. You might want to put your name on that list and see if there's another edition coming up. This is a new edition. There was an edition before this, and there may be one after this. So something to keep an eye out for. And friends, if you want a private reading from me, my email address is below. Send me an email and let me know that you want a reading, and we'll work something out. Maybe we'll play with runes together if you want. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.